And we're live. Spread and bread week 8. That's whatever. I'm calling it spread and bread because that's what it is. But no, Conlon again.
Yeah.
Conlon, at least Conlon responded tonight, right? We were started talking. I said, let's go live so people can hear. At least he responded tonight. It makes me think that he listened to last week.
Maybe you're starting to get through to him by bitching about him every week, and you're starting to crack.
It's fair. I have a fair reason to bitch about him. Oh God! Now you got to fix your Wi-Fi in your house, man.
He did commit. Is it that bad?
You just froze and then you glitched and then all of a sudden it's like nothing changes with what I'm saying. Like you can hear me, but like all of a sudden you stop and then you'll respond and then you'll like respond again. It's just weird.
Okay. Well, hopefully it gets better.
No headset tonight? No. It's you're a little off.
Okay. It's about right. So good night for the boys last night.
Yeah, we won.
Yeah.
It's good. Did you guys watched it?
Yeah, I watched the tail end of it. I know Christian Mallon, I think, watched a little bit more than I did, but it looked like it was pretty handily.
I mean, we won in 4. It was close. I mean, they were all 25-21-ish. I mean, they got us in the second set, and then we won the third and fourth. But I think it was, I mean, for the most part, it was close. But
yeah, Kaukauna a good program. So
seen a bunch of yellow cards lately. They got a yellow card last night. There was a yellow card. What was the other yellow card? Oh, Appleton West coach got a yellow card against us too.
Coach is getting feisty.
I don't know. See, I don't know if last night the coach or the player got it. There's no difference, is there, if a player gets it or no?
No.
So player gets the second one, he gets kicked out or what?
Right.
Okay. Yeah, there was a
warning.
Okay, there was a play where you've been in our gym in Kimberly. The banners are hung way too low. I don't know why. I mean, whatever. It's to flash all the state championships, but it's really annoying when you're playing volleyball. And the kid hit the third. I think it was his third. It's weird because I'm trying to think. It wasn't. I don't know if he tried to set for the. No, it must have been. Whatever. It was coming over, and it didn't look like it hit anything. I don't know. It was really weird, but it was like right in front of the judge. That's whatever the main judge is on the ladder. And
up ref.
He's what's it called? Up ref.
Up ref. Yeah.
Okay. And he blows his whistle, but as he blows his whistle, our setter goes to set it, like he was going to set it. And I don't know, from my point of view, and I talked to Caden last night about it because he didn't know really what kind of happened. I'm like, the ball was like 2 or 3 feet out of bounds. Like it was going out of bounds.
Sure.
And Caden's like, I think it was pretty close, Dad. I'm like, I was like I was right at midcourt basically. I'm like, that was going out of bounds. So I thought to myself, our setter just knew it was going to go out of bounds. And then he was like, he heard the whistle and then set it just for the hell of it, whatever. I don't know. Like now I'm thinking to myself, he said it not knowing it hit a banner, but I'm not even sure it hit a banner. So I got to check on YouTube.
That was the yellow card.
So they call it that it hits the banner, gives us our point. And I don't know if they called a timeout at that point or was the next point they called a timeout. And then during the timeout, either the kid that was mad about it or the coach was yelling at the up ref and gave him a yellow. So, but I gotta watch. I gotta watch replay on YouTube on YouTube to see if you can even. I don't know if you'll be able to see it on the video, but I did not think it hit a banner. I did not, but who knows? That's enough volleyball. Well, yeah, you guys play tomorrow night, right?
Tomorrow night, Kaukauna.
What time? Okay. I'm gonna make a plea to all the WIA people that are not listening to me right now, and I'm going to message you at some point. So I have confirmed. Apparently, this is what our coach has said. We play at Green Bay Preble on Saturday. At 4:30.
Right.
And if you guys win and whoever wins, I guess the girls, whatever, the girls play at Green Bay Preble at 7:30.
Correct.
So there is a likelihood that it is Kimberly North for boys and for girls, and we all get to travel to Green Bay Preble.
We do.
In basketball, and I think football even, they have a placeholder location, and as soon as stuff gets filtered out and they realize that it's not like last year basketball, I think it was Wausau and Marshfield were placeholders for like the sectionals. So when they realized that Kimberly and Neenah were playing each other, they shifted us to Kaukauna. And Eau Claire Memorial was playing Appleton East, and they put him in the middle. They put him at Wausau. So I don't understand why volleyball is not the same thing. There's no reason for us to travel to Green Bay. Put it at Kaukauna, put it at Neenah, put it at Appleton East.
Sure. Well, I know there was a move by Appleton North football to petition to play neutral site against Hudson, and that was declined in like a half hour. So they're going to.
That's a little bit different. Like I understand the first couple rounds, you know what I mean? And I know in basketball they'll say the way basketball works is the first you have 2 regional games. Those are the home teams, whoever's higher seed. Once you get to sectionals, it's always a neutral site. So clearly, with volleyball and I guess maybe football, they don't care if it's like there's a team that could play at home. Like Germantown may have a home game for sectional finals tomorrow Saturday, or they probably do actually. I should say they actually do. They do. That's not. I don't understand. They do all this stuff about how of the seating's different and the logistics. And we don't want parents traveling all the time, and so they always accommodate like making it fair for everyone. But like, why is everyone traveling a half an hour to Green Bay when we could just do it around here? I don't.
Yeah, and for older people, grandparents, everything like that, they don't want to go all the way to probably.
So I thought it would get changed. I had told Christy that, so tell Christy I was wrong, which you do not hear often. I do not say I'm wrong often because typically.
That's been recorded.
But I talked to our coach last night and I said, "Are we really playing a Preble?" He was like, "Yep." I guess we did 2 years. Same thing happened 2 years ago. And I'm like, it doesn't make sense to me. Like, why do you do it for basketball, but you don't do it for volleyball? I don't know if we're just the redheaded stepchild sport or what, but I want answers.
Yeah. Unfortunately, it takes something bad happening. You would think with all the busing issues that are going on that they would try and bring it closer, but
well, you just brought up a really good. I never even thought about that, and I should have, because my mom even talked about it. She's like, I don't really want to drive to Green Bay. Can I like hitch a ride with you, whatever?
Yeah.
But like all the older people, like they don't want to drive. Like just put it within 10 minutes away. It's easily doable.
Yeah, and I mean, whatever that. I mean, those schools. There must be an incentive to hosting. So for Bayport, there's an incentive to host. The other schools, there's an incentive to host, but it can't be like super lucrative to where oh my God, like we're not going to meet our budget needs this year if we don't host this sectional volleyball final.
You get concessions. So you get, so you get volunteers to do it. So everything that you make at concessions, that's your money for the program, whatever, which that's great. I get it. But like, again, every other, like basketball, they switch it. They switch it to accommodate so that everyone's not driving. I get it. If it was Bayport and Kimberly or Bayport and Appleton North, I get playing in Green Bay. That's fine. But you literally have Kimberly and North, which are 10 minutes apart, and we all have to travel north 30 minutes for it.
Yeah, that's stupid.
I need an answer. I'm going to message someone. I got to find out a volleyball contact for WIA. It just doesn't make sense. I need to know the reasoning because I don't know.
I don't have an answer.
Okay. Baltimore or Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay is favored by 1.
Stupid. Yeah. I mean, I can't think of a more easy pick than this.
Are we getting duped? Is this it? I mean, is this the trap of all trap games?
I don't know, because like, what has Tampa done in any way to have earned being favored over? Baltimore hasn't been great. They've been okay. But there's no way Tampa, with as badly as they played, deserves to be favored in most games.
Let's say this was a Baltimore at Green Bay game. Would Green Bay be favored by 1?
You wouldn't think so, because probably the only team playing worse than the Packers right now is Tampa.
Right. I'm assuming you're taking Baltimore, right?
I'm taking Baltimore for sure. I don't. It doesn't even make any sense. I don't.
Go ahead.
It's a Thursday night game. Could Tampa, with the talent they have, could they come out and win this game? For sure. But they've been horrible. There's no reason to they should be favored against almost probably 3/4 of the teams in the NFL. They should not.
Are we missing? Are we missing injuries? I know. Well,
Mark Andrews is questionable.
He'll play.
I think he will play. Yeah, but no, there's no significant injuries. Most of the significant injuries are on the Tampa side. They're still banged up at wide receiver. It's not Evans and Godwin anymore. It's now all their third and fourth receivers. So Julio Jones is questionable. I forget the one guy's name, the one wide receiver. He
Russell
just
Gage
was ruled out.
Gage
is ruled out. Yep. So I don't get it. Tampa's shown nothing. Baltimore's shown at least a little. So I'll take Baltimore.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. So what I do is I always do the lines. Like typically I'll just I'll do the lines on Tuesdays. I just get my board ready on Tuesdays, and Wednesday 5:30, 6 o'clock, I'll redo them and just do so we have an up-to-date line. I think yesterday Baltimore was favored by 1.5. Just spin. I think Baltimore. I had Baltimore, and I can't tell my dry erase board. I erased it, but I think Baltimore was 1.5. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe it was Tampa Bay 1.5. I don't get it either. I'm taking Baltimore. Let's freaking move it. You know, Tampa Bay is winning this game, right? No, we know that, right?
For sure.
Yeah. Oh, just for the record, too. By the way, last week you were 9-5. I was 7-7.
9-5.
Yeah, you were 9-5.
Man, I think I've gotten better every single week. I bottomed out with 1-15, and I've been better every week since.
So overall records, I'm 49, 57-2. You are 42, 64-2.
Yeah, a 1-15 week is gonna do that.
That'll do it for you.
You're gonna have a hole to dig out of.
All right. Why do they skip a week of London?
Is there a London week back?
Yeah, there's a London game this weekend.
Denver, Jacksonville is a London game?
Jacksonville is a London game.
No idea.
All right.
I thought there were 4 total.
I think this might be the 4th one, right?
Okay.
Maybe the third. Jacksonville is favored by 2.5. This is another, and I know Jacksonville's they have been, Jesus, what the hell's going on? Hang on a second. Can you hear that music or no?
I can't hear any music, no.
All right, hang on. All right. You know, ESPN all of a sudden just loads up videos?
Yeah.
They just loaded up a video and I started freaking getting music on an ad. So I couldn't. Anyways. I know Jacksonville's been all over the place, but Denver is awful.
Yeah, Denver's terrible. And they've got a long way to travel for this. Well, it's in London.
Yeah.
So neutral.
They both have a long way. They both have a long way to travel.
Both have a long way to go. Denver, a very long way to go. Jacksonville, a long way, but not as long. I can't see any reason in my mind why I would pick Denver really against anyone at this point. So, I'm taking Jacksonville for sure. The Jaguars.
Yeah, I just looked ahead too. So there's a game in 2 weeks, November 13th, Seattle, Tampa Bay, in Munich.
In Germany, yeah.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that counts as an European game. So this would be the third one. So this one's in London, yeah. Okay, yeah, I'm taking Jacksonville too. I don't even know is Russell Wilson quarterback? It doesn't even matter, does it?
It does not matter. He sucks too.
Okay. Las Vegas on the road at New Orleans, Las Vegas. Josh Jacobs running wild. Las Vegas is favored by 1.5.
Yeah, a really high point total here. Was it 49.5? It's one of the
49.5.
Yeah, higher numbers here. Yeah, I think in a shootout type game, I like the Raiders better than the Saints. I'll take the Raiders here.
Yeah, I think the Raiders. Well, I hope the Raiders are starting to pull together a little bit. They legit could be a 5-2 or whatever, 4-2 team, whatever the record would be. They've lost some too many close games. I think they're starting to get a little bit figure some things out, but we'll see. Carolina, what do you do with Carolina last week? How do you beat? They trade McCaffrey and then they win by 18 or whatever.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a fluke.
What did I say? Was that the game I called last week?
Yeah.
Well, we both picked. We both picked them, but I remember saying this is just one of those things. Why would they not win?
Well, what was the spread on that game last week? Tampa was favored by 11. Do you remember talking about that?
We had
how ridiculous that number was.
It was 11. Yep.
11. Tampa was favored by 11 and lost by 18.
And they were favored by 11 after they got their ass kicked by Pittsburgh the week before. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and then you lost by 18. That's a swing. Right. That's one hell of a swing.
Atlanta's playing fairly well. Mariota, I think we kind of put him in the washed up category or whatever, and he was kind of a forgotten guy after his college career and everything, and short time in Tennessee, some time with the Raiders. He's playing well. I like Atlanta here, even with the 4.5. Carolina, I'm going to say that's a fluke.
I'm with you. I got Atlanta as well. I saw a stat, I think it was today, something about how few times Atlanta threw the ball down double digits last week. And they just don't, and they've got Pitts. Oh, I think it was a TikTok, I think, about just about fantasy guys, about how London and Pitts are like on this bottom of this like rung of fantasy guys because they don't throw the ball. Like they've got talent. London and Pitts are really talented, and they just don't throw it.
Yeah, and both were top 10 picks.
Yeah, I don't know.
Makes no sense.
All right, Chicago surprise win Sunday night against the surprise demolishing of the Patriots Monday night. At Dallas. Dallas is favored by 9.5.
I'll let you take this one.
This one I literally just picked. I just typed in my pick because it was the one game I could not pick because the thing that I see 9.5 and I think, God, Chicago plays really typically it's slow down, it's low scoring, and then you look at the New England Chicago. I mean, there was a ton of points. I think Dallas's defense is going to give Fields just fits. I don't think he'll be able to have a clue of what he's doing. And if it was 10 or 10.5, I'd be a bit worried, but I like the fact that it's under 10, so I'm going to take Dallas.
Yeah, the point total on this one too is 42.5 in a Bears game. Like it was 1 week. They scored 33 points against a Belichick defense. A lot of things went their way, but there's no way I'm buying any of this. I'm taking Dallas for sure. I think it would have to be well over 10 for me to take.
You glitched again, by the way. You froze, glitched, stopped, and then whatever.
Yeah, but you got my pick of Dallas, right?
I did get Dallas, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Next game, Miami favored by 3.5 at Detroit. I'll start with if you want. I'll just take this one. Not like it's a ton of insight. At some point, Detroit's going to just have one of those games where you're like, okay, this is the offense we're going to see. I feel like this is it. It's at home. They're getting points. They got both running backs back. I'm still waiting for Tua to get hurt again. I'm just waiting for it. Like, I'm just waiting for this Tua Dolphin NFL lawsuit that may happen anyways, but I'm just waiting for it again. But I think I'm just taking the points on this with a home team that I think can score and I think can keep up with Miami.
You're taking Detroit?
I'm taking Detroit, yeah. Did I say I'm sorry, I'm taking Detroit.
Yeah. No, I'm just making sure. The point total here too, 51.5. I understand both defenses pretty questionable. While I'm talking, can you look up for me what is Detroit against the spread this season? I'm very interested in that because they've only won one game. But
yeah, I was gonna say, keep talking.
Yeah, so I'm going to take the Dolphins in this game. I don't think Detroit provides much of a home field advantage. I think with a point total like that in a shootout, I like Miami's weapons much better than I like Detroit's weapons. So I'm going to take the Dolphins.
You know what I have to do is I need to get a website that I just keep up that I can just, here we go. There it is. It's right here. Team rankings. Against the spread, all games 2022. Detroit is 3-3.
Okay.
Miami is 3-4.
Okay.
The Giants in Atlanta 6-1.
Wow.
So you said you took Miami?
Yeah, I'm taking Miami here.
Okay. Next game is Arizona at Minnesota. Minnesota is favored by 3.5. As usual, as my Minnesota picks go, I hate Minnesota, so therefore I will take Minnesota to cover the 3.5. And Kyler Murray is fucking that is a disaster in Arizona waiting to explode even more than it already has.
And they paid that guy. They just paid
a lot
of money. And what got the attention was this incentive to make sure he wasn't playing video games and stuff all the time. But at the same time, they paid him a ton of money, ton of guaranteed money. At some point, though, Minnesota at 5-1, it's the Vikings. They're going to lay an egg against someone. Arizona is not a good team. I don't think the Vikings are an elite team. I think the Vikings look at this point like they're probably a playoff team, but they're going to lay an egg against somebody and they're going to have an inexcusable loss. I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this one.
All right. New England, coming off their shellacking, is on the road at the Jets without Breece Hall, but with James Robinson. Patriots are favored by 2.5. That's, I think, was it Mike who said that in our text? Like, isn't it incredible? They lose a running back, and a day later, they're like, trade done. We got a fucking running back. Like,
yeah, instant response. Like, they clearly had Robinson was clearly like their guy, like top of their list. Like, if anything happens, like they were ready to go.
And I think it also probably tells you that Jacksonville was like, we just kind of need an excuse to go with ETN forever, like as our main back, which he's starting to play well. I mean, it makes sense, but I mean, that shit. So the point of Mike's text was like, why can't the Packers ever do anything close to that? Like, it's never.
Why can't the Packers be more like the Jets is what Mike is.
Well,
Mike's
I don't think that would be, I would actually like to be like the Jets this year, wouldn't you?
For these last two or 3 weeks, sure. But for the last 40 years, no.
Oh, by the way, I'm taking the Jets. I'll take a home team I'll take a home team division with points. Yeah.
For sure, I'm taking the Jets. Yeah, this one makes no sense to me. I understand Hall is out, but geez, the Jets have been playing well, and New England looked horrible a week ago. So I'm taking the Jets.
That's the only thing that worries me is that New England looks horrible, and I can't imagine a Belichick team. I don't know. At some point, I guess maybe Belichick's just we stop using it as an excuse, but it's the one thing I fear is that he's probably not going to get beat. Well, it's a short week, I guess, but beat 2 weeks in a row to two teams that maybe you normally would not lose to. I don't know. New England's been. I think New England's season right now was like, all right, well, we're not going to be that great, and then all of a sudden it was like, okay, maybe we actually are good. Like, and I like Bill Simmons. Do you listen to Bill Simmons or no?
No.
So Simmons is a big Patriots fan, and all of a sudden, like the last 3 weeks, he was like, "We're good. We're a good team. We're a good team." And he was like, "We're gonna hammer the Bears." And I'm like, I think we all thought they would.
Yeah.
And then they didn't. They got hammered themselves. And now they're starting Mac Jones again. Did you see that? So they benched Jones. They put Zappy in. He got kicked. He played better than Jones. And now Jones is starting again though.
Yeah, and I think because of the investment in Jones in terms of the draft pick is the only reason why. Because he was awful Monday, and he's shown very little in his career. So I don't.
All right, Pittsburgh on the road at Philly. Philly, they're the only undefeated team, right? They're still undefeated, only another team, right? Philly undefeated. Yes, correct. Okay. Right? They're the only undefeated team left.
No, they have a loss, don't they? Philly has a loss.
Who'd they lose to? No, they're 6-0. Yeah, they're 6-0. Okay. The only undefeated team. Philly is favored by 11.
Yeah, I'll take the Eagles here. They're playing well. Pittsburgh is not a good team. In-state rivalry game. Philly can score points. Pittsburgh can't stop anybody. I'll take the Eagles.
Yep, I agree. Not much to say. They're the best team in football right now. I mean, it's funny. I shouldn't say this. Maybe I shouldn't say they're the best team in football because if you look at every power rankings, they're not. No one thinks that they're the best team in football. Even though they're undefeated, they've beaten decent teams, and they've beat. I think Dallas. I think everyone thinks Dallas is the best defense in the league. One of them. They beat Dallas. Granted, it wasn't with Prescott, but that's another story. I don't know. I think they're good. I think they're really good. Why would you not think that they're good?
In a Super Bowl, Eagles, Bills, who are you taking?
I agree. I take the Bills, but
Chiefs, Eagles, Super Bowl, who are you taking?
That would be. I'd have to think about that more.
Yeah, I'm taking the Chiefs, but
okay.
I've never been an Eagles believer all season, so I'm not gonna pretend like I'm jumping on that bandwagon now.
Yeah. All right. Sounds good. Tennessee favored by 2 on the road at Houston. Divisional game. I think Houston's better than the record. I think Tennessee's boring as shit. I'll take the 2 points and I'll take Houston.
Yeah, this one seemed obvious to me too. Home dog division game. Tennessee's shown nothing. Houston's been frisky. Yeah, I'll take Houston as well.
All right. Washington is on the road. Washington after a big win over the Packers. That's awesome, which we'll get to later. At Indy, who has benched Matt Ryan, Aaron Sass in our AGFL league spends $28 for a fill-in for the week. It's just a fill-in. He needed a quarterback for a week, just 1 week, because his guys are on bye. $28, Matt Ryan, and he's benched now. I mean, it's fucking insane. I needed a quarterback too, and I put 3 roster claims in. It was Matt Ryan, Davis Mills, and I think Tannehill, and I put $3 for all of them, and I'm like, I'll get one of them, and I don't care. It's just what I have to do. And he put 28, and he's benched.
Yeah,
and Indy's favored by 3 because I guess they're at home. I'm taking Washington. I don't know why. These are bad teams, but just give me. It's a debut of a quarterback that I don't think I've even. Where did he? I don't think I've ever heard of him. I should say, have I or not? Have I heard of him or have I not? It's yes or no. I have not heard of him. And you froze.
Ellinger.
Mm-hmm.
Am I back now?
I think so.
Ellinger is from Texas,
Okay.
University of Texas.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a good quarterback there. I'm taking the Commandos here too. There's no reason to believe in either team, so I'll just take the points. So,
all right, in a I feel like this game would have been really good like last year. I don't know. This game's just one of those weird games. San Francisco on the road at the Rams, and San Francisco's favored by 1.5, which seems just really, really fucking strange. I don't know. McCaffrey was. I didn't even see any stat. What did McCaffrey do last week, anyways?
He had he was involved. I don't think he played poorly, but he wasn't a difference maker. Clearly, they got their asses kicked. So
yeah, I'm taking the Rams.
Yeah, and I don't know why. I'm not a big believer in the Rams. 49ers are good every other week, so I'll say they sucked last week, so they're going to be good this week. So I'll take the 49ers.
All right. Next game, battle of the 2 most surprising teams by far this year. Probably the game of the week. I think it is the game of the week, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that would be. I think that's the game of the week, is it not?
In terms of records, yeah, it's the game of the week for sure.
Yeah, Giants at Seattle. Seattle's favored by 3. Another one of these like disrespectful. The Giants have been underdogs like every single game, I think. And that's why they're 6-1 against the spread. I'm taking the Giants.
Yeah, and to me, I like the fact that Seattle can score points. They're pretty consistent on offense, which makes no sense. I'm going to take Seattle here, but to me, it's a coin flip.
All right. Monday night game, because we're skipping the Sunday night game for now, as we always do, because it's Green Bay's in it. Monday night game is Cincinnati on the road at Cleveland. Cincinnati is favored by 3.
Yeah, there's no real reason to believe in the Browns. They're a bad team, and it's in-state rivalry game. I understand we have a home dog division game situation, and I'm going against it. I'm going to go in this case. I'm going to go against it. And I'm going to take the Bengals.
Okay, which makes it easy for me because I took Cleveland because of everything that you just said. That's why I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah,
I don't feel good about it. I don't feel good about it at all. I think to myself, this should be Cincinnati. I feel awful taking Cleveland, but there was a lot of games. What was the game last week? Oh, you know what's funny is last week we were doing the picks and I had Chicago written. I had Chicago down over New England, and as we were talking about it, as we were talking through the games. And we were coming up to the last game, and I was like, why would I fucking take Chicago? There's no chance there's just no way. But I took him originally because I was like, there's no way. That's why I'm taking, you know what I mean?
Right.
This is like one of those games. Like, there's no reason I should take Cleveland. And that's why I'm taking Cleveland.
Yeah. And that's kind of how you have to think with a bunch of these. And I did that with a few of my picks even this week, where like I've got no reason to believe in this team. But which one was it? I can't remember. One of the ones we picked back. Arizona. I have no reason to believe in Arizona other than at some point Minnesota's going to shit the bed. Yeah. So I'm gonna take the Cardinals because I'm gonna assume Minnesota's going to have a terrible game. So I have no reason to believe in the Commanders, but I don't believe in the other team either. So so here we are. You got to go against your gut for at least a few.
Yeah, otherwise you end up 1 in 15.
Yeah.
Are you watching
the
Bucks at all or no?
I was. Somehow they dominated the whole first half and were down by 12 at halftime. I have no idea how.
Steve Nash just got thrown out, I think.
Yeah. Simmons was screaming at the refs and got a technical and whatever. So.
I saw that one. He's bad.
He sucks so bad. He's
like,
such a
okay,
bitch.
I actually think he has like 7 assists, or at least 7, just because of Prize Picks. I know that, but like, it is amazing that players in this league can function with 0 offensive ability, like 0, like literally 0. Like it's him, like Draymond. I mean, Draymond Green at least moves and cuts and passes. I mean, I hate him, but I mean, he can't shoot at all. And Simmons is just like. And now people could be, Giannis is not. Giannis is one of the best offensive players in the league, obviously, but he's not the greatest shooter. But like, I mean, they're literally like Green and Simmons you can just leave them on 10, 15 feet away. Yeah. Giannis at least can hit something.
And I wouldn't necessarily say Simmons is a particularly good defender either. He's okay.
He's one of those guys that like build wise, he's got this credibility that he's a good defender. Did you see when they played the Pelicans, like the first game of the year or the second game of the year? Zion fucking destroyed him. And Zion. Zion's fucking insane. But yeah, I think he's a little bit overhyped defensively.
Yeah. So what good is he? And how much money is he making per year?
I don't even want to. They're all making a ton of money, but I don't.
It is so stupid.
Portis is playing. By the way, your boy Portis is playing out of his mind tonight. Maybe I shouldn't say out of his mind. They're up by 2. I'm waiting for points for Portis. Portis had a couple.
Bucks are up by 2.
Yeah, they're up by 2 now. They just went up by 2.
Yeah, I think this is a bit of their struggle with having to move Allen into the starting lineup and Carter into the starting lineup. Is their bench depth is bad, so they get, they have these runs, and then other teams catch up. That's kind of been the story of the first few games. Is they found a way to finish, but struggling to keep leads because their bench is so thin.
Yeah. Okay. So when I said Portis has got 18 points and 7 rebounds.
Nice.
Jesus. Do you remember how long ago was that when you were like, I'm never playing Bobby Portis in a fantasy contest ever again? He is dead to me.
Yeah, he pissed me off. That was back when he played in Chicago.
Yes,
he was so tempting all the time because his price was so low. So I always used to snag him as like a fill-in, and he'd always screw my lineups.
Yep,
always.
I'm there with Klay Thompson. I hate Klay Thompson, by the way. I fucking hate him. Yeah. I think he is so overrated, and it's because of after his injury, but like, and he got ejected last night, and he's I don't like him. For another podcast.
Yeah.
All right. Speaking of teams that we should not feel good about taking, that makes 2. I think we're both going to pick Buffalo. Oh yeah, Green Bay's at Buffalo. Buffalo's favored. By the way, it's 11.5 now. It was 10.5 yesterday. It's 11.5. What is this? Okay, let me ask you this. We'll just get cut to the chase. Are you taking Buffalo?
Yes.
Okay. What would be the point total that you would have to get to before you decided to take Green Bay?
It'd have to be probably 18 or 19.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
I was going to say 16.5.
Yeah.
And then I would take Green Bay at 17, I think, for a push. This is going to be a shellacking, is it not?
This is lining itself up to be one of the worst losses we've seen the Packers take in a long time.
And
they have, yeah.
No, continue. I was going to say, sorry.
And I understand there are certain points where, like, you know, like every matchup is unique, and so you never know really how Green Bay and Buffalo are going to match up, and maybe the Packers, you know, I like to think they still have some talent, so maybe they capitalize on a weakness and they keep it close into the third quarter and they find a way to cover. But I don't. It's a perfect storm for a blowout, and I don't know how they avoid it.
What's the ceiling that we've seen of the Packers this year? Like, what's the best they've looked? And I don't know the answer. I know the answer is probably nothing amazing, but like, I'm trying to think of when they looked the greatest, like the best.
The Bears game. Yeah, the first half of the Bears game. The second half of the Bears game, they sucked because they suck in the second half of every game.
Yeah. So, like, I'm trying to think in a scenario of where, based on what we've seen this year, there's not a chance in hell that they can win.
Like, nothing would indicate to me that they have a chance in this game. No.
Yeah, I mean, if I think to myself, okay, if I take the best they've played all year, and they can do it for 4 quarters, even then, I think Buffalo's like mediocre floor is still better than that. Oh, it is. I mean, for sure it is. What's the Buffalo? Buffalo's to Miami, right? Is that what the loss? Who was the loss? I can't remember.
That was the one loss at Miami. Yep. That win at Kansas City is looking very impressive because Kansas City's been really good this year.
Like, if you took, I would rather, if you told me I could trade the Packers ceiling right now of what they've showed versus, or I could take Buffalo's floor on offense, I would take Buffalo's floor. Right? I mean, that's pretty obvious, isn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, the Packers ceiling in this game, I would guess, would be in the low 20s, which is probably Buffalo's. I think Buffalo's floor in this game would be 24 to 28.
Yeah. I was going to say 23. Yeah. So maybe this is the trap game. Maybe this is the New England Cleveland or New England Chicago game Monday night that we never thought we would have seen. I don't think we need to really talk too much about the Buffalo or the Green Bay Washington game. We kind of recap. I know I'm bouncing around. Do we want to recap anything from that game? Like, just the fact that it was a fucking.
I don't think so. I mean, it was when we, just when we think things can't get more disgusting, it was a train wreck on every level. Offensively, defensively, penalties, inexcusable mistakes, more special teams issues. They're a really poorly coached and poorly constructed team.
Yeah.
I don't know a different way to say it.
I was going to say this. We're going to talk on this. We're going to talk about this every week going forward, just because it's where the Packers, where they are as far as a team. And as you just kind of said, coaching wise, and we talked about it, I think it was 2 weeks ago. And I said, like, are we sure LaFleur's a good coach? I've talked about this on on previous podcasts, and I'm going to make a point of talking about it in a future podcast, specifically kind of basketball related. But like, I want everyone to know this. Okay. And I've argued with this with Mike for a while. Just because you are a coach in the NFL does not mean that you deserve your job. It does not mean that you are automatically good at your job. It does. NFL, NBA, sports, whatever. It is no different than any industry that I work in or that you work in. We have all worked in a job or an industry that where we have bosses or higher ups that you're like, how the fuck did they get their job?
Sure.
Like, do they even know what they're doing? Do they know someone? Are they an ass kisser or whatever? The NFL is not exempt to that. Okay. So for like Mike's big thing as well, I think they know a little bit more about football. I don't know. Do they? Because I'm pretty sure that I've met plenty of people in my industry that don't know what the fuck they're doing. And I know you have too. And I know Mike has, and I know Colin has, and I know everyone has. Just because you are a higher up there, or a head coach or a boss of some sort, does not mean that you are good at your job. It is everywhere across the country. It just is what it is. So for us to sit there and go, well, LaFleur, he's done that. I don't know. Maybe he's just in over his head like many people in many industries across the country. So, and it goes, I wanted to say this because we talked about LaFleur, and the one part I missed on was, because I will talk about it in other podcasts with basketball and stuff like that, is like high school coaches. Like, let's stop giving high school coaches passes because they're like, well, they're high school. No, there's a lot of high school coaches that suck ass. Like, really, really suck ass. They do. There's a lot of college coaches that suck ass. They just do because it's who you know. Look, it is this whole freaking country and world, I guess, is about who you know. So much of it is. What connections do you have? Who do you know? What ins and outs do you? And that's why I've told my kids, I'm like, make as many connections as you can. The more people you know, the better. It gets you in things that you can't get in. You just get better. It's just better. And that's what happens so people get jobs. Coaching is not exempt because they know people, and then they just suck at their job because they don't know what they're doing. And so, like I said, the one thing I wanted to touch on was high school coaches and high school coaches are teachers half the time. So it's just like they're doing like, oh, I guess I'll be the one that coaches. But then high school coaches are like, wow, they're so good. They've won so many games, a couple state championships. Like, no, they don't know what they're doing. They just don't. It is what it is. So I'm going to ask you this again. Where are we at with this whole LaFleur, Barry? I mean, any of them? Like, are we sure they even know what the fuck they're doing?
Yeah, I mean, where I'm at with LaFleur right now is, I think the NFL operates in trends, and you have, to go way back to, old example like the West Coast offense, Bill Walsh and his coaching tree and that offense and everything, and then everybody kind of piled onto that. A lot of the coaches that came from that tree, very successful. Mike Holmgren being one, several others that were successful that came from that tree. And I feel like LaFleur's coming off of a kind of an odd tree, which is like the Sean McVay kind of tree, which also the guy in Minnesota is from that same tree and that same style of offense. And to me, McVay's not having much success in Los Angeles anymore. Their offense doesn't look great. Maybe the defenses have figured out that offense, because since LaFleur has been in Green Bay, the offensive has progressively gotten worse, even with, in my opinion, plenty of talent. There's plenty of offensive talent on that field that you should be able to move the ball. Now, I do know the offensive line is playing terribly right now, and that's not helping the situation. But I feel like what's going on, what we're seeing this year is LaFleur coming in when defenses still hadn't figured out that McVay tree kind of offense. And McVay won a Super Bowl with it last year. And suddenly I feel like in the offseason, maybe some of these defenses caught up to this and figured this out and know how to stop it now.
I'm never the one that gives the benefit of the doubt just because they're the professionals. They're the professionals. They know what they're doing. And I get it. Like, I think it was, and again, we'll talk about another podcast. Like, maybe it was Russillo. I don't know. I love Ryan Russillo. They were talking about how all these play calls, everyone second guesses everything. And then it's like, well, if you actually went in a meeting and you listened to a coach about why they did this, why they did this, you'd be like, oh yeah, actually that makes sense. You know what I mean? And I understand a lot of it, but when it happens week after week after week, you start wondering, like, and I don't think I even was like irate or pissed off this past week about the coaching. There is obviously at this point when you're playing like as shitty as you are, it is, but like Aaron Rodgers is really, really bad right now. Like, he's really inaccurate. And I know that like he doesn't have Adams, but like we said before, they were winning without Adams before. I know Lazard's not a number one. He's probably number 3, but like, he's throwing guys. He's so far away from some of these throws. I don't know if it's as simple as going, well, the receivers should be there. Like, I don't know. If you're that good of a quarterback, you should know that your receivers are not going to be there. And then you should adjust because you're the Hall of Fame quarterback and you throw where you know they're going to be, not where they should be.
Yeah. There were several drops in the Washington game, which were good passes. But I agree with you. He looks bad, and it reminds me a lot of McCarthy's last year in Green Bay when he got fired. I don't remember their record that year, maybe 6-10 or something like that. They were bad. That offense sucked. They couldn't do shit, even with Adams. And it reminds me a lot of that. It looks a lot like that, which would have been what, 2018?
Sure. Yeah, roughly. Whatever, close.
Yeah, something like that. So, it looks a lot like that to me. Something's off. I don't know how they're going to fix it. They're going to be 3-5, and it's slipping away. I think at some point this season the offense is going to click, but my concern is that it's going to be too late. And if you finish 7 and whatever the hell it is, 7-10 or 8-9 or whatever, like, what is the point? I'd rather they don't win a game the rest of this. If they're going to finish 7-10 right now or 8-9, don't win a freaking game the rest of the year. Just tank right now.
If you had any confidence in the fact that the draft pick you'd get was made correctly for next year,
I don't.
Right. So that's the other thing.
I don't.
Yeah. I don't know. Part of me, I'm hoping that I don't even know. This is it's stupid, but like, I start thinking like, are they going to offer? Are the Badgers going to offer Jim Leonard the job? They better, because if they don't, he's gone. And if
I think they don't.
Yeah, and if they don't, and he's gone, can we hire him? Can the Packers get him like they offered him, years ago,
right,
instead of Barry?
Yeah, I mean, I think you can see from watching the Badgers, even in the Michigan State loss, there's a difference in terms of the way those games look, the way they play. They're a different team with him, and so it's easy to jump on this and be like, it's coach's fault, fire the coach, whatever. And I'm not there yet. And this is a guy who won 13 games 3 years in a row. He's got plenty of cushion. He can have a bad year this year and probably next year even before he's going to get questioned. But at some point in time, they're going to have to figure some things out. I do still think the offense will click, but I am growing very concerned that it's going to be too late in the season for them to right the ship. And then they're going to end up in this weird middle ground where you're picking like 15th in the draft. And it's like, what is the point? What is the point of picking 15th?
Yeah.
So,
I don't know. I wonder, like, do you think it could get to the point if, let's say they went 5-12, do you think they would? They wouldn't, because it's too hard without an owner. We have, LaFleur's going to stay. What's his contract? I mean, how many more years does he have left? Because that's what he's staying.
Yeah. He's not getting fired.
No.
Even at 5 and whatever, 5-12. He's not getting fired. So he's got at least, it would have to get to a point where this doesn't stop and it carries over into next year before I think he'd even get questioned. So,
yeah. All right. So we both took Buffalo.
Yeah.
Okay. DFS. How did your picks do last week?
I think fairly well. I had Olav in the Thursday night game. He was decent. There's another guy that went off in that game. I think I had Herbert as quarterback. He was decent. Jacobs I had, who was really good. Then I had CeeDee Lamb.
I would disagree. I don't think Brandon Jacobs did much last weekend.
Brandon Jacobs, who knows where Brandon Jacobs is right now?
Is he? He might be dead. What do you mean? Josh Jacobs was awesome. Of course, that was a great fucking pick.
Yeah, he was great. He was great. So it's still, I have the same sheet of paper. It still says B Jacobs on it. Anyway.
You just want a BJ. You just want a BJ.
Yeah, sure. So going into tomorrow night, ugly game on Thursday, of course. Again, Andrews is questionable. I do think there's going to be some sneaky plays here. The one I'm going to go with for Baltimore is James Prochet. $600 on a showdown for Prochet. Fast guy. this could turn into kind of a shootout type game. Both offenses are very capable. So at $600, I'll take Prochet. In the regular slate, I'll take Tua at QB at Detroit. Indoor game, high point total there. Running back, I'll take Travis Etienne, number 1 running back now in Jacksonville. And then for wide receiver, I'll take Garrett Wilson for the Jets.
All righty. I'm just finishing. Jesus. My picks here. All right. So last week, again, I went 2-0. I'm on fire. Dude, I am on fire. And you know what? Here's the sad thing. Here is the sad thing. I don't think I have put any of these picks that I make on a Wednesday night together in a Prize Picks pick. I just don't put them together. And I don't know why. I should, because I think I'm literally, what are we at here? We're in week 8. So okay, so we're 14. So I have 14 picks. I honest to God think I'm 13-1.
Wow.
Juwan Johnson hit last week, and then
that was the guy. Yeah. That was the guy, Juwan Johnson, for New Orleans, who went off. Not Olave.
Yes. Yeah. So, and I'm not, look, I'm full disclosure. I've said it before. I pay for this optimizer. So I use this optimizer and I look at what the best plays are. Okay. So I'm going to be fully transparent with this week, because a lot of times it's the NFL plays come out. And so again, no one's listening, but I'll just repeat it again. So this optimizer has, I'm going to count it right now. There are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 sports books that they compare against the Prize Picks line. And then the 10th one is Underdog, which is another Prize Picks type.
You're right.
App. And I just want to double check to make sure that there's not any other like quick picks. Yeah. So it's like, it's Pinnacle, it's FanDuel, it's DraftKings Sportsbook, Caesars, stuff like that. So there's some Vegas apps. So they compare the lines that Vegas drops, and then they have this optimizer that says this is the percent chance to hit. Okay. So a lot of times it's an underdog line that comes out, and then the optimizer says, well, this is a really good play, but it's only against the underdog. I don't like to take lines against just an underdog. It just means that underdog has their line set one way, and I'm going to contradict myself just based on where I'm going here. I mean, but you can see a gap, whatever. So if I look at the optimizer for tomorrow night's game, the top play is Tom Brady under, and I'm not giving this, but the top play is Tom Brady under 0.5 interceptions. So he doesn't throw an interception, you win. He throws one, you lose. Those are really dicey fucking plays.
Yeah.
Really dicey plays.
Because a ball slips through a guy's hands.
You have no clue, right? Look, yeah. They're down by 14 in the fourth quarter, and he's chucking all the time. Hail Mary, whatever. So I'm not going to take that because I want our non-listeners to win. So I'm going to take Chris Godwin over 70.5 receiving yards. And then for my Sunday play, we're gonna double it up with your Garrett Wilson pick. Maybe it'll help, whatever. I'm gonna take Zach Wilson over 170.5 passing yards.
All right, nice.
There you have it.
Got some NBA night slate picks I gotta make.
I've been busy all night. How's your AGFL team doing, by the way? You suck as bad as I do?
Horrible. 2-5.
I think
unbelievably bad.
Yeah, I think I'm 2-5.
It may be and this is saying a lot, but it may be the worst fantasy team I've ever had. It is putrid.
Here's the thing. Since no one listens, we can actually talk about it real quick. I'm going to the standings. So there are 3 5-2 teams, 2 4-3 teams, 2 3-4 teams, and 3 2-5 teams. Me and you and Campy are 2-5. Like you're a 2-game winning streak away from second place, essentially.
For sure. Yeah, and I actually put in a waiver. I'll keep it quiet about who I
was
did
going to
that
say,
with.
yeah, don't talk about it. It's tomorrow yet.
I'm not going to talk about it, but I actually put in a waiver this week because I'm realizing, geez, if I win 2 games in a row, I'm right back in it.
Mm-hmm.
My team is so fucking bad. Like, and I took Prescott, and I'm gonna probably end up having to play Brady again tomorrow night. He's so bad, but when you have that super flex spot, you have to play quarterback. I refuse to put anybody other than a quarterback in that spot.
Which may be why I do the same thing, and it might be why we lose. But I don't.
It might be.
I'd have to look and see if that actually has burned me or not. But I have no idea. It's we're all right there. It's just hard. What do you do? Like, I lost Breece Hall. I had Breece Hall. I was like, I'm gonna be good. I got Breece Hall. I'm good, and that's done.
And I had James Robinson on my roster.
Oh, you do? That'll help you then.
Yeah, it does help me. He's been sitting there, and he's been number 1 on my list of guys to get rid of, and not anymore.
Yeah. I can't remember what I was gonna fucking say. I don't know. It just changes so much, and there's like, I had Allen and Cook on a bye this week. Like, what am I supposed to do without Josh Allen and Dalvin Cook? I mean, what do I expect? You know?
I mean, the way the NFL season, especially this year, is working, like, the yearly leagues just don't work. It just doesn't. It's not fun anymore because it's so chaotic and just so unpredictable and whatever. Like, I guess to some people maybe that's more fun, but to me it's definitely not more fun.
Yeah. I mean, we've talked. I like the league, whatever, but I like it because we've been doing it for so long, and I like it because it's Jesus, George Hill. Why is George Hill still playing basketball on this team? Sorry, I'm just totally went on a tangent. He just turned the ball over, and then he just tried to do it. He tried to tip the ball in off a Lopez 3. Like, tip it to Giannis and let Giannis dunk it. I like the league because we get to hang out on draft day and draft. Like, that's what the best. That's the peak of. That's the peak of the league. The peak of the league is the first day.
The league is still running more based on obligation than anything. I think we feel obligated to each other to keep it going.
I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it too.
Yeah. All right.
So.
Good luck tomorrow night.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Hopefully you play Kakana?
Yeah, play Kakana. Already played them once this year. They've been banged up. They're a good team. They got some talent for sure, so it's not going to be taken lightly. Obviously, North is playing well, and every reason to feel good. It really played well against Appleton East, who East has got some talent too, but it was never close. They were up like 6-0 in the first set, and it was never close in any of the sets. So, yeah. So they should be really confident, but they're not going to take Kakana lightly. So hopefully Saturday could turn out to be one heck of a day.
Are you going to come to the guys game or no?
If it turns out this way, we definitely will be there. So,
okay. Yeah, my plan is to. I just got an email about how they want to. Well, the Kimberly parents want to see the kids off. I want to go up to Green Bay and pregame before the fucking game.
That's not a bad idea either.
But my plan is to watch obviously the boys because Caden plays at 4:30. And then stick around, and obviously I'll watch you guys. Unless I'm irate. If I'm irate, then I will just. Yeah,
maybe. Yeah, maybe if you're getting vulgar, maybe it's time to just.
Here's the thing. I mean, here's the reality, right? Like, you guys are the one. You guys are going to be the 1 seed in both, right? It's the girls are the 1, the boys are the 1. Your expectation. Yep. I know we can beat North. Like, I know we can beat the boys. I know we can. I've watched them enough. I've seen them. Now, given how both teams have played throughout the year and how which team makes more mistakes and talent, yeah, North should beat us. But I know that if we cut down on our mistakes and we catch some good breaks, I know that we can easily win. And obviously, you know the same thing, right? Like, Kimberly beat you. Like, you guys are the 1, but Kimberly beat you.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think different teams, I think, playing each other this time around compared to the first time, given Setter's back and healthy. That makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But yeah, geez, if that matchup does happen, there's nobody on North that's going to take that lightly. I mean, they're
oh God, no. I mean, why would you? No.
Well, and the same scenario happened last year. So North beat Kimberly in the playoffs. So I think there's every reason to feel pretty confident that it can repeat that. So so we'll see. Could be a very fun day. We've got to take care of business tomorrow.
Yeah.
So
all right, I'll be watching online. Well, hopefully, I guess. I don't know. Is Bayport going to have it online?
Yeah, Bayport's going to be streaming it. So if you need the link or you can't find it, just text me and I'll send it to you.
Sounds good.
All right.
All righty, we'll talk. See you later.
See ya.
All right, bye.